All right, so I'm just leaving the third campaign day of the Orlando Mordheim Border Town Burning campaign. Wow, what a grind. Today was a grind. So, for starters, quick recap. Vivian, the Countess, and her undead fiends, they're doing pretty good. They've only lost one game. She's got 50 or 48 or something like that experience. She's way up there before today. And uh, she's fully kitted out. I really haven't had any kind of struggles. Well, today things went a little differently. So my first game I played against Ruben, the Scion of Chaos character, the Chaos Marauders. He's my mission, man. I gotta kill his leader. That's the goal. Um, so I was very excited when he challenged me. Um, Fortunately, I completely abandoned my strategies. So sometimes when I play, I get a little too excited. I don't really lean into my strategy. I just want to do fun things. And sure enough, case in point, my vampire's got a rope and hook. She's got initiative advancements. She's got sprint with a 6-inch move. My mission has been to get her into combat as quickly as possible with easy kills, because she just needs to rack up her kill count. Because my whole goal is surrounded around getting her experience, getting her advanced, getting her to be more killy. Uh, and when she hits certain experience milestones, I get bonus campaign points. So that's the goal. In the beginning, I was really trying to focus her down on the hard hitting leaders and heroes of the other warbands, but that's silly when I think about the actual mission. So strategy today is to focus on getting kills with her, easy kills, quick kills. Secondary strategy, keep her safe. And then the third thing to keep in mind is to ignore any objectives with her, because she's never going to make more experience with objectives than she will by getting kills. She can fight. The more people she fights at one time, the more attacks she gets. So she should be getting into combat with as many people as quickly as she can. First game, I completely ignored all of those strategies. So the first thing I do is I run her into the objective building. We played a mission where you have to. It's like rumors or something like that, where there's a treasure chest in the building in the middle of the board, and you have to search it. And you search in the beginning of your recovery phase. Roll 2d6, and you have to get a 12. If you get 12, you find a treasure chest. Every time you search it, you get a +1 to the next roll. So first turn, my vampire's in the building. My other guys all kind of move around. I've got all my uh, fast guys on the left flank. He's got his marauders all lined up straight across the back of the board. I've got mine on the left flank and the right flank. I've got my two shooter, my warplock rifle rat that I got from Steve's squad of rats, with the rifle on the right, with the necromancer with the bow. Maybe get lucky, get some shots off, because he's got to pull his band up that side. Now, he also has a spawn of chaos, which is scary. So anyway, he sets up straight line. I've got two flanks, and my vampire just goes right up the middle end of the building. He advances his guys a bit. Second turn, I've got my Direwolf is already in range, obviously, with that 18-inch charge. Charge is leader. Vampire moves to the top of the building, the third floor of the building, and searches again. So this will be her second time not doing anything in regards to my strategy. So combat with the dog, I don't think he really does anything. I don't really remember. He gets charged by some other guys. They kill the dog. This is enough of a delay, though, to get my zombies up into position. So some of my zombies are charging. My ghouls and my dregs are now up at the building. Necromancer and the warplock rifle guy have moved up. They're taking shots. Nobody's doing anything really effectively. Next turn, we see some combat. We get some charges. some guys get into some different positions, and he's got 2 guys that are kind of stuck. There's a bunch of choke points that I'm heavily leveraging because I don't want him to be able to get his dogs and flank me, which is exactly what he does. He runs his dogs up one side, and they flank, get behind me. Luckily, they're not able to charge. I'm able to charge them before they get the charge off. And my dregs and a ghoul are sufficient to take out the dogs. I take some wounds off the spawn, who moves up to right in front of my necromancer's face. Luckily, my necromancer can just move to the left of it, and now the spawn is around a corner, so can't actually get into combat with the necromancer because it can only move in a straight line. Spawns are crazy; they're so weird. So he turns it around, he starts going the other way with it, and he's moving just randomly, and it's terrible. I take some shots at it. I actually take off 2 of its 3 wounds, but I really don't do much else. A bunch of his henchmen failed their climbing checks. His condemned fails 2 or 3 climbing checks, I think, and doesn't get into combat until I think like turn 4, maybe 5. So his henchmen, when they finally get up there, my ghouls kind of chop him up to bits. He gets his witch involved up there as well, and don't think she manages to do anything. What's really awful about abandoning your strategy is what can happen. So keep in mind, I bought this rope and hook for the sole purpose of climbing anywhere to be able to get into combat. Instead, I decide, you know what? Diving charges are the most fun thing in the game. And my vampire, who's 3 stories up, decides to diving charge. Remember I talked about I wanted to focus on henchmen and easy kills, multiple easy kills. So instead of that, not only am I going to do a diving charge, but I'm going to do it into his leader and his strongest champion. I do the diving charge. I pass the first one. Anything but a 6 is a pass. Pass the first test, fail the second test. She falls 5 inches. She takes 2 strength 5 hits. Both of them wound. She gets no saves. She gets out of action. I roll a 5 and she goes out of action. So she jumps off the top of a building after searching it 3 times, and goes out of action. What a waste. I could not believe my abysmal luck. And to make it add insult to injury, I then lose my direwolf. I lost my direwolf like immediately just before that. So I lost my direwolf, which is 50 gold, and then my vampire goes out of action. Most important character in the whole warband, obviously, by far. So the whole point of my goal is to make her strong, get kills, and play safe with her. And I do the exact opposite: jump her off a roof. 3 stories. She falls. She gets a lasting injury of a hand injury, so she falls, breaks her hand. Ruben joked that she got stuck on her hook because she forgot she had it, and she just jumped and hooked her hand, and that's how she hurt her hand. Luckily, she's already had an increase to weapon skill. Hand injury is just a -1, so she's down to 4, weapon skill 4, which, it's boredom. So she's going to be hitting 3s and 4s to hit most things anyway, with 4 or 5. So she is out, and my ghouls do some good cleanup work with the henchmen. My dregs and ghouls take care of the dogs. My necromancer avoids the spawn, but then he gets charged by the witch, and the witch takes him out of action. So I, at this point in this game, have lost my vampire, the direwolf, and my necromancer, my 3 most important units. The direwolf's only most important because it's 50 gold, so obviously it's expensive to lose. That's a head trick, so it's pretty easy to lose too. So I'm not feeling super great, but at this point, my most important guys are already out, so I have no reason to try to flee. Fortunately, my vampire with leadership 10 and an unholy relic is out, so she's not going to be taking her out test. The necromancer's the next highest. He's out, so he's not going to take her out test. My next highest leadership. He's a drag. Leadership 7. Sure enough, I fail. And I rout. So I ended up taking out, I think, 4 of Ruben's guys, and actually killed 2 of them, but they were unfortunately just henchmen, so it didn't confer any benefit. I didn't raise any more zombies, unfortunately. And I got the hand injury, but everybody else was fine. No other injuries. Nobody else lost, so it wasn't all that costly. So it just was really frustrating to lose my 3 most important, and then of course subsequently fail my route test. So I couldn't even relish the damage I was about to do to his leader and his witch with all my ghouls there and my drakes. So Ruben gets a little stronger, and I gotta lick my wounds. Advancements. I think I got a skill. I got a skill on the necromancer, and I think I got a skill on one of the dregs. Trillion. So Trillion's the dreg that's got. He's got 2 wounds. He's got I think resilience. He's got higher toughness in close combat, basically. And so he's really tough. So I gave him, or I think resilience is what I gave him. He had 2 wounds, so I gave him resilience. So now he's an even harder kill. I also bought him heavy armor, so he's gonna be my tank. Because dregs I don't care about. You know, dregs are super cheap units. They're heroes, so they're somewhat important, but they're cheap. If they die or they get badly injured, you just replace them. No big deal. Plus, then you get a bunch more advancements more quickly with them anyway, so it's worthwhile to replace if you need to. But mine keep on keeping on. So the next game, Maverick challenges me. Now Maverick I played against last month, and he plays Reichlanders, and I got his one of his champions, Creepy Jenny, is one I killed, and so I got a zombie of Creepy Jenny. So Creepy Jenny gets reunited with the Reichlanders that she formerly called home. So that was kind of fun. Now this one I knew, obviously, I'm gonna wreak havoc. There's just no way that these Reichlanders are gonna be able to do anything against me, really. So, and we play on this board that's it's like sewers / catacombs. Really cool board. And so, you know, I set up all my guys on one side. I think we played Weirdstone Hunts. We only got 2 shards of Weirdstone. So first turn, obviously Vivian grabs one of the Weirdstone as she charges right up to the middle of the board with her 18-inch run. I take some shots. I basically just advance everything like normal. He advances everything. He has got all his guys clumped up together on one side and 2 marksmen with bows on the side that has the Weirdstone. So they're trying to race to the Weirdstone before my vampire can get to it. They get up there. They take some shots. Doesn't do anything. And we get a random encounter. I roll it. The random encounter is this Blandish of Char. So Champion of Char. It's a chaos, some kind of a chaos champion that has chaos armor and one of the chaos relics. Now in this Border Town Burning campaign, there are 4 or 5 chaos relics. The Psionic Chaos player's goal is to collect all of them. Some of the other campaign paths have goals to like bury them or put them in a temple somewhere. I don't have any particular goals with the relics, but I do want to fight Ruben as many times as I can. So having the relics is helpful because that'll hopefully entice him to want to fight me. So this thing shows up, and this thing is kind of like the Condemned from Marauders, where it's got D6 strength, D6 toughness, D6 weapon skill, D3 attacks, D6 initiative, and a 6-inch move. Normally it comes with a mount, but Glenn, the runner of the campaign, so there's no mount. We're in sewers anyway, so mount wouldn't really be feasible down there. So it's just on foot. The thing, unfortunately, maybe fortunately, I don't know, it depends how you look at it, deploys right behind Maverick's guys. So luckily it can't charge the first turn it shows up, but it moves out there. Now, we roll for the thing. The thing has strength 6, toughness 5, like right out of the gate. So we know, oh boy, we're in for it. Glenn says that we can kind of team up since this thing appeared, and he's been waiting for this thing to appear. He said we could kind of team up and go after it. And I said, well, Maverick, I'm gonna chop you to bits. So if you would just get out of my way and promise not to fight me, I'll go get it. I'll kill this thing. And he said, no. I said, no, we're here because we believe in ourselves. We're here because we're going to stop you. And we're going to stop the Chaos guy. So Vivian just knocks down and stuns half of his guys standing there in one turn. The dire wolf charges the archers that are getting the weird stone, kills one of them. The chaos thing comes out and charges 2 of his archers. We kept rolling gangster stats for this thing, like 5s and 6s for everything except for attacks. It only ever had 1 attack, and I don't know if it ever. I think it could hit 1 time. The first time it charged, it hit one of the marksmen, knocked the marksman down. Marksman stands up next turn. They both fight back. Doesn't do anything to marksman back. I'm not able to charge with my vampire because he's got all his guys in the way. So I'm busy wading my way through them. And I get one of my dregs, Trillion, the toughest one. He manages to get a charge off onto the Chaos guy. So he's fighting the Chaos guy with the 2 marks. Now at this point, Vivian's taking out a whole mess of his guys. And he rolls his route test. He fails. So his guys all leave. The Chaos thing is still there. So Glenn says, fight on. There's no rule or anything that said that the game, about the game ending. There's nothing in the Border Town burning random encounters about the random encounter vanishing. If the game ends or the game ending with it there or anything like that. And because this particular creature has importance for the campaign because it's holding the Sword of Damnation. It's holding one of the Chaos artifacts. So it's essentially an NPC that's not going to leave. So Glenn says, okay, fight it. So I'm like, okay, I've got, I think it was 4 ghouls, my vampire, and a dreg, all in charge range. But Trillion, the dreg, is in combat with the thing already. And when Maverick routes, the Chaos thing goes first. And I think, oh boy, here he comes. So the Chaos thing attacks Trillion. Doesn't hit. Okay. Trillion attacks back. He's got an axe and a hammer because he's like a handyman, like a carpenter kind of guy. This with the axe hits the hammer. Now the thing at this point has toughness 3. It's the lowest. It's the only time it's had a toughness less than toughness 5. So I know I can actually cause a wound, but it's got 3 wounds and it's got a 4-up invulnerable like regeneration save. So if it suffers a wound, it can regenerate it on a 4-up after combat's resolved, basically. I roll a 6 to wound with the hammer. So I get a critical hit. On the critical hit chart, I roll a 6. Now if you scroll down to the bottom of the bludgeoning critical hit chart where a 6 is, it's over. A 6 on the bludgeoning crit chart is an automatic out of action if they fail their regular armor saves. So it doesn't matter how many wounds they have. Doesn't matter if they have any like the regeneration thing didn't seem like it applied, and Glenn confirmed and made a ruling basically that it wouldn't apply. So all we had to do was roll, I think it was a 2-up save, and it would be fine. Because it's got this chaos armor, so it's a 2 or a 3-up, one or the other. And Maverick was doing the rolling for the thing. Maverick rolled a 1 on the save. So the thing died. So I didn't even get a full turn. Just one round of combat with one dreg with a lucky shot with a hammer killed it. Now, that means Trillian, the dreg, holds the Sword of Damnation. Two-handed chaos weapon that can't be disarmed, can't be broken, and is otherwise just a two-handed weapon. Very cool thing for him to have. I mean, he's a carpenter, got a lucky smash with his hammer and destroyed a chaos god-empowered champion, so he should get something fancy. If I were Chaos Marauders, I would need to hold the sword with my leader, but since I'm not Chaos, it's just whomever kills the Chaos thing gets to pick it up. The sword also has a pretty cool rule that if it hits somebody with a critical hit, and they're automatically killed, not out of action, killed, because they turn into a spawn of chaos. So all you really need to do is roll a 6 to wound to this thing, and it auto kills whatever it's fighting, and that thing becomes a spawn of chaos for your warband if you're chaos. So, sort of some complexities of the interactions of the rules here, given that I'm an undead warband, because the rules specifically say that the chaos warband can get the spawn, goes under the chaos warband's control, but I'm not a chaos warband. But also the rules specifically say that if you hold the Sword of Damnation and you're a good guy, or just not evil, so regular humans, dwarves, that kind of thing, the sword can make you go into a frenzy, it can make you act stupid or drunk. Glenn kind of tweaked the rules to make it treated like drunk. But the rule specifically says that undead heroes are immune to that. So what he said basically was, okay, you decide with your opponents. Did they want this sword to cause any critical hit to kill that warrior and turn them into a chaos wand? Because if they do, it will turn into a chaos wand when combat's resolved. So I will then be in combat with a chaos wand and probably will die. So that's a plus for them. But the minus is obviously the fact that their guy is dead, not just out of action. I don't think anybody's going to take me up on that. But now that I say this all out loud, I realize that my dregs are not undead. So I think my dreg is going to be affected by the whispers and all that stuff. The whispers of the evil blade. But I don't know. I have to ask Glenn. I think this was a complicated set of rules. That was sort of the theme for today. Every other campaign day except the very first game, which was complicated because everybody was participating and we were finding weapons and we were having random occurrences, and the tavern brawl was just a mess and it took forever. This today was sort of similar with the rules interactions with this chaos random occurrence thing happening. Long story short, I win this round and I get a Sword of Damnation. I get one of the chaos artifacts. So next game, I get challenged by Nick. And Nick is rolling the lizard bed. Nick's really cool. He came to his first day was the second campaign day, and Tampa Dan let him borrow his lizards so he could play. And he played a bunch of games. Got caught up, I think. So he challenged me. We roll on the scenario chart, then we get Tavern Brawl. I remember I told you the first time I played Tavern Brawl, it took forever. It took almost 4 hours, I think, to play the one game that everybody participated. And me being the last person standing took the longest for me. So yeah, that's what I had to look forward to here. Now, here's the thing. This time, when it's only 2 players, we play with our entire war band. First time, it was just everybody gets one. one random hero and their leader. Entire warband plays no weapons. I think great. Most of my creatures don't care about weapons, so I'm not going to get the penalties for being unarmed. And my vampire, she's going to get penalties for being unarmed, but she's tough and has 3 attacks, so, strength 4. So even with those penalties, it's not so bad. What I didn't realize is that lizards have ridiculous saves. So you do come into this game, you don't get any of her weapons, but you do get any armor, and you do get any shields. So most of his skinks had shields. And the house rules for this campaign is shields are +2 to your save if it's in close combat. The lizards all also have scaly skins that have +1 to their save from that. So it's already already +3 to whatever their save is. And any of my guys that are unarmed, like my vampire, resulted in additional +1. So he was walking around with pretty much everybody having a 2+ or a 3+ save. So he didn't have a ton of high strength guys. And with the unarmed combat, most of them were, average. Even the high strength guys were average strength. So basically, this whole game was spent trying to hit and wound, and ultimately him saving. Nobody was going down on his SWAT. It also was really frustrating because we deployed randomly. And in the courtyard in the front of the building, I deployed really all over the place. And he got really lucky with his deployment because he got a pretty balanced spread of power. Most of his guys were together. Most of them were in the courtyard. Another big group of skanks were inside the ship. And we played on the same pirate shipboard that Clint made. This is incredible. So many levels. I think there were 6 different levels that we could play on. It was wow. And he also had 2 guys against my 2 guys in one of the little separate rooms. And then he had 2 guys at the top against one of my guys. And then he had 1 big guy against one of my ghouls at the very tippy top. So this game was ridiculous. I couldn't kill anybody because his saves were ridiculous. He went first. So all his guys in the courtyard were immediately able to charge my, I had 2 drags, a zombie, and my necromancer out there. All my softest guys were out in the courtyard. All of them pretty much immediately got smashed. Zombie lasted a turn. The direwolf lasted a turn. The necromancer was in the latrine. And that left the door with only one person being able to access the necromancer at a time. So one of his regular Sauron, I think, warriors charged my necromancer. Now my necromancer has the life drain or life stealer spell. So I have to roll a 10. If I roll a 10 on 2d6, I steal a wound and I gain the wound, which is great. So what kept happening, I'm not going to go turn by turn because it's too hard to remember. There were just too many rounds, so many rounds of combat where nothing happened. This must have been, before I get to the end, just regular turns. This must have been an 8 or 9 round game. It was totally ridiculous. What made it even longer is we had to roll random occurrences. Anytime you roll a 1 at the start of the turn, there's a random happening. And it's not like the normal random happenings where it happens once and then it doesn't happen again. I swear Nick rolled random happenings probably 7 times. And it was everything. We got an ogre bodyguard eventually who fought a skink for like 4 rounds. Couldn't kill it. Got charged by his Croxagore. Eventually, the skink actually killed the ogre bodyguard because, again, ogre bodyguard could hit and wound everybody, but nobody failed their saves. The saves were 3 up across the board at worst. So he just won basically a war of attrition against the ogre bodyguard. Outside, the necromancer and that Sauron warrior, everybody else outside, all my undead died. Like turn 1, I lost 3 guys because he started right on top of me. He got the first rounds. He got all his charges. He just walloped on me. Plus, all the Saurons have a bite attack, which is not modified by unarmed, getting -1 to strength and +1 to save. So even though his regular attacks were unarmed, he was still getting, basically strength 3 because most of them were strength 4. So he's still rolling a 4 up to wound. So he wiped out 3 guys like right away. The Necromancer kept stealing wounds from this warrior. The warrior kept, but only knocking it down. So it would steal a wound and then it knocked down. Guy would stand up. Necromancer would attack. Warrior would save or not get wounded because I had to get 5s to wound because he's elite. Necromancer's elite strength 3. And the Sauron warriors could not put down the Necromancer. I'm not exaggerating. It must have been a 6-turn fight. And when I say 6 turns, I mean me go, he go. That's 1 turn. So like 12 combat rounds. At one point, we rolled a random occurrence where I found an ornamental weapon on a random guy, and I take a strength test, and I then get this sword. And my Necromancer in the latrine found the sword and is fighting with a sword and still just cannot put this Sauron warrior down. I also am just now realizing that I forgot to parry a single time. I did try parrying once. It happens. Ultimately, the Necromancer got stunned in my turn. So that means the following, or in my turn, and then in Nick's turn, he just killed it because it was stunned. But it was tied up the whole game. My vampire went down into the belly of the ship where he had his priest, his skink champion of some kind, and another probably regular skink, and eventually a third skink and his Croxagore were all in the belly. I had Creepy Jenny in there. I had the rat adept, or the rat engineer zombie in there, and the adept went out of action turn 1. That was one of the ones in the courtyard that just died immediately. So Vivian could not get a kill. Same story inside the boat as it was outside. She is in combat with these skinks, and they're just making their saves every time. And the skink priest has 2 wounds. So even when I finally did cause a wound, it still was kicking. Eventually, the skink priest died to the rat zombie. The other skink died to the ghoul. So no experience for Vivian in that regard. And then the Sauron warrior ended up killing the rat zombie. The Croxagore killed Creepy Jenny. And also killed the ghoul that was down there. And then that's when... and then there's... I'll tell you room by room, like I said. Then there was this room, like above the captain's office, basically, where I had Trillian, the tough Dre, and a ghoul. And he had 2 skinks. It's like, great. I should be able to dispatch these 2 skinks with ease with these 2 guys. Creepy Jenny was in there as well, but she left. She thought, there's 2 of you against 2 little skinks. How hard could it be? So she leaves, does her usual nothing. One skink dies right away. I got really lucky. The next skink absorbs combat from a ghoul and a dreg with 2 weapons and... no weapons. I forgot. One-armed combat. No weapons, but still much better strength and toughness of the skink, even with the unarmed combat. So this one skink ties them up for practically the whole game. Finally, they kill that skink. And by the time they've killed that skink, the top of the ship's combats had resolved, and the guys who are at the top have come down. So to move to the upper deck. So at the very, very top mast, there was a Sauron warrior and a ghoul. Ghoul charged. Sauron warrior Soren Warrior said, smash. Knocked him down. Ghoul fell. Now there's a bridge below it. He landed on the bridge. Didn't fall again. When he landed on the bridge, he landed on combat between a Ghoul and his warband's leader. Both of them took an initiative test to avoid the falling model, so they didn't take any extra damage. The Sauron warrior that was at the very top eventually climbed down to the bridge, but couldn't really go anywhere, so he just kind of hung out there. Literally hung out there. He had a magnet, but there's a chain, and so the magnet at the base kind of just hung him on the chain from a hook. Meanwhile, there were now two ghouls on the bridge, and Nick's leader and one of his skinks took both of those ghouls out. The other thing, so the lizardmen are crazy strong in this scenario because of the unarmed combat mostly, but also because of the shield bonus that we run in this campaign. It's really strong. So he was just making all of his saves, and it just made it really tough to do anything. And I was losing units. I was losing henchmen and heroes just left and right. I mean, like I said, turn one I lost my rat zombie and I think it was 2 dregs. So right away I'm in trouble. Combat on the bridge and the upper deck is resolved. The Sauron warrior can't really go anywhere, but he's climbing in the rigging to try to get to somewhere to do something. The skate climbs all the way down. Can't really get to anybody. And his leader starts climbing down. So as they're climbing down, his leader gets down onto the deck of the boat, and Vivian from downstairs runs up the ladder, charges him, along with the Ghoul and Trillian that were in the captain's quarters, basically, or captain's office, what have you, or above the captain's office. So all 3 of those guys charge the leader. Drake goes out of action almost immediately. Ghoul goes out of action next. And Vivian is just not doing anything. She's got strength 4, but because she's unarmed, it's strength 3, which means she's wounding this guy on a 5. And for whatever reason, even with my 3 attacks, I cannot roll 4s. She just couldn't hit. So it gets to the point where I have Vivian locked in combat with the leader, and I have just the Ghoul and the rat are still downstairs at this point. My Ghoul and rat get annihilated, and an ogre bodyguard shows up. So now Nick's skink is locked in with the bodyguard, and the Croxagore charges as well, and the Sauron warrior just kind of hangs out behind that combat. Vivian ultimately takes out the leader. Finally got some luck. Finally rolled some crits, and ended up taking it out with one of the no save crits, and even with step aside. One of the times I did that, I thought I was gravy, and I rolled a 6 for step aside and saved him. So I had to basically kill twice. Luckily I did, because at this point, Vivian is the only one that's alive out of my entire warband. And my first route check, I've got an unholy relic, so she passes. All my other route checks I pass because her leadership is 10. So I only fail on 11 or 12. So now we got a conundrum. There's all these lizards in the hull of this ship, and Vivian is on the top deck. So what I decide is, okay, well, I'm going to run Vivian to the upper rigging. So she runs up, she sprints up, gets to the top. None of the lizards can get to me. If they do, they'll have to go through choke points to do that. So what Nick does is he bails the lizardmen out. They all go out into the courtyard. So now I can't charge them. And they can't charge me. So now it's just a matter of rolling off leadership checks to see who routes. So basically, with everybody watching this, at this point, before we even start this process, this is the longest game of Wartime I've ever played. It's longer than the first time we played this particular scenario. This game, I wish I timed it, because I just can't imagine how long it took. I think we played, like I said, 9 or 10 regular full turns. And then we had to roll off the leadership checks. Now I'm rolling 2d6, and I need to roll an 11 or 12 to route. He has a special rule, cold-blooded, that all their leadership and psychology tests are taken with 3d6, and he picks the two lowest. Now, he's only got... I've taken out a bunch of the lizards, so his next highest leadership is 7. But he's rolling on 3d6. We probably rolled off... Each probably rolled off 10 times, maybe. And finally, on 3 dice, Nick rolls an 8 and fails his route check. So, just like the first time we played Tavern Brawl, Vivian's the last woman standing. And she wins because he failed his route checks. Now, unlike the first game where we do the Tavern Brawl, this one has lasting injuries, but it's you get to re-roll the first result if you want. So henchman, basically everybody rolls 2d6, and as long as you get 1 dice that's a 3+, the henchman's fine. So all of my henchmen survive, except the engineer adept. The lead rat dies. So, or I'm sorry, not the adept. The one with the rifle. The warp lock rifle adept dies, or engineer dies. Because I rolled 2 2s. Very sad, because I mean, the whole character of this warband, my favorite thing is killing other people's heroes and then getting those heroes in my gang. And so the fact that I spent all the time modeling this hero, painting this hero, I actually modeled the 2 rats exactly WYSIWYG, exact weapons that Steve's rats had. I even did the cloaks in the same color, so they looked, similar, but they have they had 1 glowing eye, and then missing another eye, and you had, some bloody parts. And, they're really cool. I really enjoyed the conversion. I really enjoyed the paint. And I got to use him for 1 day. 3 games, and then he's done. Whatever. He having that warp lock rifle was really helpful. It gave me some long range punch, but with it being only move or fire every other turn, it wasn't easy to use. But when I did get shots off, sometimes it was effective. Either way, it doesn't matter. He's gone. I don't get to shoot that one anymore. At least I still have the adept who has a halberd and a warp lock pistol, but he has also done pretty much nothing. Most games. I think he took out a right-click Arrowwell for you. Would that be a cadet? So, as far as heroes go, nobody got any consequences. Everybody was fine. Full recoveries all across the board. In fact, the Necromancer rolled 66, so the Necromancer actually got an extra experience. Lesson learned on the lasting injury chart, and so did, I believe, Nick's leader at the same thing, 66, so he got an extra experience too. So, cost-wise, it wasn't bad. Losing that 1 zombie with the warp lock rifle, it doesn't really bother me. I did like that model, and I did like that rifle, but like I said, it wasn't doing a whole lot for me. And it's not really my play style anyway, so when I'm playing undead, I like to run up and hug, with the win, my exploration went pretty well. I got a little bit of gold. I really didn't get very much gold, actually, but I only found 4 shards. And with 13 members, I only made 60 gold from that. But with my savings, I think I've got about 193 gold now. And I've only lost, really, the zombie rat, and I also lost one of my regular zombies in the game against, I believe Ruben killed one of my zombies. Brains, in fact. But what's really funny is Brains got a kill as well. And I think that kill actually died. There's a henchman that died. And Brains is awesome. The zombie that has the exposed gloss brains. He always manages to get a kill and almost never dies. But here he goes. Out of action. 10. It's fine though because I just swapped him for the other zombie because brains should always be there. Uh, Overall, today was very long. It was very complicated, especially with all the random happenings and the unarmed combat and the bite attacks and the extra save modifiers, the gizzards. I mean, it just was almost arduous. It was fun. I enjoyed myself. I would do it again. Um, but it was a little arduous. It just games last more than 2 hours. It's kind of exhausting. Uh, but like I said, I had a great time. I came away with 2 wins. I got a chaos artifact. Uh, Lost a useless zombie and a rat zombie. Uh, but otherwise, I got some levels. My necromancer got skill scribe, which allows him to basically write a scroll of one of his spells. So when he tries to cast that spell for the first time, he uses the scroll, gives a +2 to the roll. Very helpful with the difficulty on lifesteal is 10. So now it's just an 8. And with his extra experience from the last injury of lesson learned, he got another level and got another skill. And I'm not certain what I'm going to do with that skill, but I may end up just maybe getting sorcery skill, which just adds 1 to all of my rolls. So now that would take Lifestealer down to a 9 difficulty, which is still very hard, but it went off. It went off, I think, 3 times during this game, and not with the scroll, just regular. Got very lucky on those rolls. And it's the only reason he survived so long against that Sauron warrior, because he just kept pulling wounds back from him. So with that, it'll go down to a 9, which means when I use the scroll, it'll go down to a 7. So I should be able to get it off the first time pretty easily. Only concern there is that it is short range. It's only 6-inch range. So I really need to keep him, behind a couple ghouls when he's running up there. So he doesn't get charged and annihilated, because he is grease. Oh, he's soft unless he's stealing your wounds, I guess. So maybe now I should kid him out. I don't know. I'm going to think about this. A vampire-like necromancer who could steal a wound could be pretty tasty in combat, especially if I get another skill and could get him like warrior wizard or whatever it is where he can wear armor. Really, really kid him out. Like I said, I got almost 200 gold, so I'll be in good shape to do that. Also, next campaign day, Glenn said the first game is going to be a multi-way game with me laying siege to Marienburg, which is awesome because that scenario it looks really complicated, but it also looks really, really fun. There are villagers. It's an extra large board. It's a 6x4. And he's going to set it up with a dock. It's called the dock siege or something like that. He's going to set up a ship where my warband sets up in and comes out of. But I also get all these extra undead helpers. Like I roll every turn, and I could get wights that have like wicked or like cursed blades and stuff, and extra direwolves, zombies, skeletons, all kinds of stuff. Also, there's fire. So the buildings are burning. There are barricades that have to be beaten down. There's a lot of cool stuff that will happen in that game. Glenn also has a model. It kind of looks like a giant snake, but with like skull and human torso and some like snake tail, but it's all skeletal. So it's all bones, and it's really big. And it's got like this big like tattered cloak on it. He said that's going to be the bone giant. And it's just dry brush. He's like, you can paint it if you want. The thing literally had actual dust on it. He said he got it forever ago, dry brushed it, just he's never used it. So he said, if you want to paint it, you can. So I'm very excited to paint this. I'm going to try to do something cool with it. Definitely going to throw some OSL on there. I got to have some glowing eyes on my end day. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the cloak, but I'm sure it's going to be gangster. It's got to be colorful, vibrant. I want to make it scary. Maybe I'll Maybe I'll put it on a bigger base. Maybe even run some LEDs in it, something. I don't know. I'm gonna play this by ear. We'll see what I can do. There's extra time because June date. It's actually gonna be the end of June instead of the beginning. So I have some time. I have some time to think about that. Yeah. So I'm excited about the next. I'm excited about the next campaign day. I'm really disappointed in myself for the first game. I just know that if I had even took 1 second to think about my strategies that I'd thought about the whole month prior, what I have to do with my vampire, I gotta get kills, ignore objectives completely, go for easy kills, keep her safe, don't charge into the midst of everybody going for the leader. If there's a group of henchmen I could take out somewhere else, she can move 18 inches, she'd be all over the board. And she's got a rope and hook. I do not need to be doing diving charges because I can ultimately roll a 6. You take D3 strength, whatever hits, and she can go out of action, and that's bad. And now I have a hand injury to remember that. So hopefully that will remind me next time. Also, what's cool about the dock siege scenario is if I win, I get a free trip to Marienburg. Not just a free trip, but I get the advantage. So essentially, I invade the town, and in this border town burning campaign, your warband can take a trip to Marienburg. It costs 2 campaign points. You spend 2 campaign points, and all of your heroes can go. And they can do all kinds of stuff. There's things you can buy, shops you can go to. There's like doctors and alchemists and a college of magic, all kinds of really, really cool things. And you could go twice during the campaign, spend 2 campaign points each time. I either have the most or I'm tied with the most campaign points, so I have no reason not to go, except the fact that I'm going to go for free if I win that game. The good news is I should be able to win that game because only the, I guess, quote unquote, good warbands will be defending Marienburg. And I think I have an advantage against most of them because most of the good warbands don't really have a ton of really heavy hitters, except for the lizards, X-lizards. So if X-lizards are there, I'm not sure what will happen. I do know it will be much easier because we'll actually have weapons. So you will be suffering from save modifiers in the negative direction instead of getting bonuses to his saves for using my fists and slapping him around. So if he's there, I should be much better off with actual weapons. Vivian's now got like 56 or 57 experience, so just a few more and she'll hit that next level of 60 experience where I'll gain another campaign point and I'll have another bonus to my stats and stuff of some kind. I don't know what the bonus is yet, but I'm excited to hit that. When I go to Marienburg, there are so many different things I can do. I'm going to have to spend some time going through all those and figure out what I want to do. One of the things that I know I want to do is I want to go to the College of Magic. Because my Necromancer can go. Now, Glenn said that I'm going to have an advantage in rolling. Because all the things, when you go visit Marienburg, you have to roll a d6 usually, or 2d6. And there's a lot of potential negative consequences. Which is why, I wasn't really attracted to the idea of going in the first place. Because there's just a chance for something bad to happen all the time. College of Magic, if you roll it's a d6. It doesn't cost anything, but it's a d6. And if you roll a 1, it's the worst result. Your wizard now becomes a necromancer and learns a necromantic spell, which is great for me. Because he's already a necromancer, and I would love to learn a new necromancer spell. The only other negative result potential is a 4d6 gold fine because you're caught somewhere you're not supposed to be by the local guard and they find you. But I'm not going to have that option if I'm successful in sieging the city because the guard will not be there. They will be dead. There's also one of the options is to get like a body. Like you could go to a mortuary type of place and buy a corpse. And for undead players, I assume I get a zombie out of the deal or something. So I don't know. I gotta look. I gotta see what all the options are. And figure out what I'm gonna do. And then if I don't win, I will probably the next game take a trip to Marienburg by paying the campaign points and just rolling because I've got a bunch of gold. I might be able to do something interesting. Maybe get some cool gear or artifacts for either my necromancer or my vampire. Try to get something fun. One of the places you can go to, you can learn a set of skills that you can't normally learn. So I might, since I have that Wonderpus in my inventory still, and all that superior black powder, I might actually learn the shooting skill where you could take shooting weapon, use any ranged weapon. Might take that on one of my dregs, maybe. I don't know. And then I'll be able to use the blunderbuss. I don't know. That might be kind of stupid. Like I said, I gotta look. So yeah, again, another big shout out to Glenn. Just an awesome event. Free, fun, albeit a bit confusing and somewhat arduous games. But it's like, even a bad day of golf, right? So even a complicated game of Mordheim, still a great time. Still a lot of fun. Can't wait for the next one. Hopefully next time some of the other Tampa guys will be able to ride out. Nobody was able to come with me. I was solo this time, to be honest. But life is what it is, right? So